Hey guys, Lone Star here with the first episode of my League Fundamental series, where I will be talking about what I think is the most important aspect to climbing and improving in League: your mindset and playing with intent. First, I need to explain what I mean by intent. Intent is the reasoning behind every decision you make. You should always have a reason for every single decision and then try to learn from those decisions. This essentially boils down to two things. You must, one, play with purpose, and two, avoid autopiloting. To play with intent, you're going to need to have learning objectives that you focus on every single game. Some examples include farming, trading, dying less, warding better, jungle tracking, roaming, and your resets. It's about focusing on all of the small things that add up. And if your goals are below, I really recommend that you only focus on your laning phase, specifically your trading, your farming, and your deaths. Mid and late game do matter, but your laning phase will always be the best way for you to improve in lower elos, since it's so similar every single game, whereas the mid and late game will be very different every game. You also need to have a growth mindset. This means that you always need to focus on yourself and how you play. Don't complain about overpowered champs or bad teammates, but instead focus on how you could have played better and how you could have won that game. For example, a lot of people struggle to play against Zed. If you lose versus Zed, don't say, "Oh my gosh, Zed is so overpowered. He can just kill me no matter what I do. He doesn't even need to land his Q. He's way too mobile and impossible to punish. Riot just needs to nerf or remove him already." You should instead think, "Wow, I always lose against Zed. I wonder what I do wrong to die to him in lane and why I always lose the game against him. Maybe I don't tether his W range properly, or maybe I always get hit by his WEQ combo. You know what? Let me look up a clip of how someone at high elo beats Zed." It looks like Ari killed Z99 by using Charm on Zed right when he ulted. Maybe I just need to play safe when my crowd control is on cooldown and only use my crowd control defensively for when Zed ults. Notice how the first option has no benefit to you as a player whatsoever, while the second option is self-reflecting and helps you figure out how you could beat Zed next time. Complaining won't help you climb, but having a growth mindset where you focus on how you can improve will help you climb. And while League may seem like it's a fighting game, it's honestly more of a strategy game where your decisions dictate the outcome of the game. If you decide to go for a bad fight, it doesn't matter how good your mechanics are. You're just going to lose. I'm not trying to say that mechanics aren't important, because you really do need to have decent micro and be able to pilot your champion in order to win the fights that you do decide to take. But consistently making good decisions is the most important thing you can do to improve and climb. It can be less fun to play smart, but you will play a lot better if you don't constantly try to outplay the enemy, instead go for guaranteed plays. This is also how you prevent throwing your lead, since you're less likely to die. If you consistently play well and make good decisions, you will eventually climb. But you do need to remember that it will likely take you a few hundred games to actually climb, and honestly maybe even more than that. It takes time for you to improve, and you can't win every game. I know how frustrating it is when you lose a game that you played well because you have a troll, or someone's AFK, or your bot lane is inting. But as long as you play consistently well, it really doesn't matter that you lost that game long term. It's important to think about the long term rather than the short term one game. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.